I am not exaggerating when I talk about how great it is to be a part of this. And I'm hoping that you heard those words, because those things that you talk about, like finding life in the solar system, we kind of let that roll off a little, but that's, wow. I mean, wow. And I hope today that you can, even if this isn't where you normally live, if you're all familiar with Dave Logan, Dr. Dave Logan, his work at USC around culture, if you're at all familiar with the phrase innocent wonderment, if you're not, look it up, Dave Logan, innocent wonderment. It's one of the frameworks for teams and culture. That's the culture we're hoping for today, is for you to be in a world of innocent wonderment as you think about all these things. Let's not just let finding life in the solar system roll off without going, wow. Okay, our final speaker, really the person who's managed to, if ever there's been a cat herder, it's her. And by the way, they're not just cats. You guys know Puss in Boots? They're cats with clothes and attitude and opinions, and somehow she, interdisciplinary, and somehow she manages to do a pretty good job of wrangling. So please welcome, if you will, Lika Guhathakurta. God, I do it wrong every time. Lika, come on up.
All right, I
Share
just
with
go
us.
by Lika. What else can I
Good
say?
Lord.
What have we done with
What have we done?
FDL? You know, we turned a perfectly good scientist into a disciplinarian. Like Bill, I had to write my talk. This is a sprint. You know, they are going to pull me out from here. I have to condense what excites us in 5 minutes. So how do you do that? You know, if I start talking, see, this is what I mean. So I am also, take your permission, first of all, thank all of you for coming here. It's just joyful. But take a few minutes of your time to at least tell you about what motivated me when I came to Ames from NASA headquarters on loan, and I will be going back. So let's get started. Space has vast amount of data. We already know that from decades of missions, and there is this amazing opportunity to apply artificial intelligence that you will be hearing about all day today and part of tomorrow. And the application of deep learning, machine learning in particular to this data in new ways. There are discoveries that are waiting right before us, that is, you know, waiting to be really gleaned from this data. And we have done that for the last 3-4 years, and it's actually on an escalating path. And so we established FDL in partnership with NASA, larger NASA, with Ames being the host, the SETI Institute, Trillium, leaders in commercial AI and commercial space, to work on problems in science and space exploration, but also challenges of real relevance to all of us, all humankind. Think about it this way. NASA gathers about 2 gigabytes of data every 15 seconds from more than 100 operating spacecraft. We do this every hour, every day, every year, and with the launch of all these other missions, think of JWST. Our collection rate is growing exponentially. Our data is one of our most important, valuable assets, and its strategic importance in our research and science is absolutely huge. So why deep learning and why artificial intelligence and machine learning? Well, already space science is data heavy. It's a no-brainer. And we have petabytes of data. And as someone, one of the thought leaders in AI pointed out, that deep learning just keeps on pushing the envelope to the right. You know, you feed it more data and you get more accurate results. There is no stopping it. In fact, when we compare deep learning systems with our traditional statistical models, which have plateaued, deep learning is still pushing the envelope. These are important reasons. But there is also another reason. I think space science is also discovery heavy in that we don't get to see this multidimensional data with our human perception. We see in 3 dimensions, maybe 4 if we include time series. So space also is literally a domain where we are physically exploring frontiers that you have heard from everyone. We are going places we have never been before. We are seeing things we have never seen before. We are collecting data we need to make sense of. And we need the discovery component of deep learning, machine learning, the way it can figure things out for itself in a creative way with no preconceptions. And we are scientists and we know what that means, no bias. Throughput to try billions of different combinations with our partners in the commercial AI sector. That is the kind of supercharging we need to turn AI onto space science with phenomenal results. And it is really on that basis that the NASA Frontier Development was launched. So machine learning is not new to us. We've done robotics and used machine learning in that area. But what we are witnessing is an inflection point where AI promises to become a tool for discovery also, where the ability to process this vast amount of heterogeneous data collected over decades allows us to revisit some of the old physics-based models of the past to better understand underlying principles and radically improve time to insight. And I'm not kidding. We are seeing those results. Not every topic, but some. Finally, what I'd like to say is, we like data-driven AI approaches. And Solar Dynamics Observatory, one of the missions from the program I led, Living with a Star, it takes 2 terabytes of data in ultraviolet and extreme ultraviolet over 9 channels, 16 megapixels images, Dopplerograms, magnetograms, EUV sensor, the number of mobile phone photos an average person would produce in 800 years, just for you to comprehend, because we all take pictures. If the Solar Dynamics Observatory wasn't in low Earth, but was in deep space, far from Earth, it would take 5 years to transmit 1 day of science data to Earth. And so those are the challenges. How do we fly instruments? How do we get the data transmission we need? And AI tools applied to SDO data is kind of teaching us. So it's also teaching us efficiency in how we might fly our future mission. Just to give you one example, in 2018, we used this data to reproduce a malfunctioning sensor that was observing extreme ultraviolet region of the electromagnetic spectrum. And we produce the data, in essence, producing a virtual sensor, because that part of the sensor doesn't work on Solar Dynamics Observatory, and it's very important for our ionosphere. This is mind-boggling, and you're going to hear some of the new topics that are coming up. And I know Jonathan is trying to stand up, and I'm going to invoke Stephen Hawking so he cannot drag me down, because I want to end this with a quote from none other than Stephen Hawking, and I want to read this carefully. This is what he said not too long ago. I think the 21st century will be the century of complexity. We have already discovered the basic laws that govern matter and understand all the normal situations. We don't know how the laws fit together and what happens under extreme conditions. There is no limit to the complexity we can build using those basic laws. That's what he said. And with that in mind, I propose that we invoke on a grand challenge together with NASA, with other agencies, with the commercial sector and academia. And that would be the integration of the knowledge provided by the vast amount of data collected by NASA and all other agencies for the Earth system, the heliophysics system, the solar system, and the universe beyond, coupled with theoretical and computational models, deep learning, machine learning, and AI tools to understand and predict the environment we live in. Thank you.